Yeah, cutting quarantine for close contacts, scrapping flight bans. Quarantine for inbound travelers is now cut down from 8 days to 10 days. And these are some big market moves off the back. So let's get straight to Juliette Saly, who has those moves for us in Singapore. Jules.
Hey, Dani, this is what we have been waiting for, isn't it? And certainly that move that it is just going to be 8 days now sounds a lot for us that don't have quarantine, but a huge move in terms of the reopening. And you've got to remember that the reduction is what we saw in Hong Kong, what we saw in Singapore. It's always the first kind of laggard to a full reopening. Now, we've got the Hang Seng Index up by 7.6%. These are extraordinary moves that we are seeing across Asian equity markets. You've got the Korean won there rising 4.5%. That's the most since October 2008, and a broad-based rally across Asian equities having their best day since March 2020. Of course, before we started to see the real impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the best weekly gain for Asian stocks as well since March 2020. Let's flip the board and have a look at some of these reopening plays too, because we've been saying for a couple of weeks now you didn't want to be behind the reopening trade when it finally happened. Cathay Pacific in Hong Kong is surging, pardon the pun there. We're seeing a lot of the airlines being very well bid. The likes of cosmetic stocks in Korea as well rising, this reopening market certainly in play. And we were looking at a lot of analyst notes coming through here too. StoneX saying that they are cautious on the reopening, but cautiously bullish. They see the Hang Seng rebound from that 13-year low. Hao Hong over at Grow Investment Group saying, look, the fact that we are starting to see some easing from these COVID zero policies is a warrant to being bullish. And Morgan Stanley saying that China appears to be fine-tuning its COVID zero policy to reduce economic disruption. But we do have to remember that there could be still a challenging winter ahead. So this reduction in quarantine, Manus, coming on the back of the fact that authorities had already said they were going to start to target some of these COVID zero policies, and investors very much just seeing it as one step forward into the final reopening path.